Hi all, Darren Ansborough from DA Components. This week's video is to talk about and demonstrate how I clean gutter cleaning and the PVC cleaning. Uh, what I came across this week was a local guy came to pick some products up and we were just chatting away and stuff. And his uptake was asking me the questions on how do I approach gutter cleaning, because he said he still prefers ladders. Now, don't get me wrong, we still need the ladders for like the S-bend or the really down where it's really chock-a-block. However, I quizzed him and I said, do you ever feel as if you need to get a gutter vac? So he was like, no, don't. I said, you get a better clean with a gutter vac, in my honest opinion. I used to do it before, years ago, until all the gutter vacs came out. I used to do them by hand, and you were forever smashing your hands and catching your fingers and everything, you know, little cuts. And then the Go-Brutter tools came out to get across the conservatories, which are still very good, but the next level was a gutter vac system. And the one that I prefer is actually, without doubt, the Predator from Gutter Vac Systems. It's got all the goosenecks, it's got all the different attachments for when the tile hangs over the end of the gutter. You can get it in there, and I do prefer the camera mount system on the top of there, because you can physically see what you're actually cleaning out the gutter as well. And last but not least as well, I really do think it's a selling point for yourself, because when the customer's in and they see all the gear and they're like, wow, this is brilliant, this, you know, gone the days going up and down ladders 50,000 times. So it reduces the ladder climbs and the aspect of getting a better job as well, because you can literally get every bit of the gutter soil or whatever's in the gutter completely out. So that's my uptake of that when I was talking to this local customer. And so I'm just going to demonstrate my views and my ways how I clean gutters. So first of all, what I would do, I'll come to a job, I'll hoover. I don't have the gutter vac with me at this moment, it's just demonstrating other parts. I'd hoover the gutters out, get them sorted out, and put that away, rinse all your gear down, clean your poles, and then that's done for the next job. And then what we're going to do now is we're actually going to apply the chemical to the surface. So I have an applicator pole, a spare water-fed pole, it can be any pole. And what we have on here is the DR applicator, and it has a 25-degree fan jet nozzle. Okay, what I do prefer as well with the applicators is the black barb that fits inside the push fit connector. I just feel that you're getting a better connection there, because sometimes if this is worn and you're just putting the hose in, it can slide out, especially if you've got the univalve fitted, you know, it can just put a bit of tension on there. So I know that's going to stay in there now, but that's my preferred uptake on the push fit connector. So how I approach this is I have a backpack, an old backpack, and you can use traffic for a remover, or if you're stuck on a job and you've ran out of traffic for a remover, believe it or not, you can actually use good old dish soap or whatever you want to use. But what I'm going to actually use today is 2 cupfuls of Glideiator, so to test for that as well, really. So I'm just going to switch the backpack on, and I'm going to apply the gutters here with the backpack with 2 cupfuls of Glideiator. So I'll just switch the backpack on. So there's me applying the application, the chemical to the gutters, and I've just turned my backpack off because it hasn't got a univalve, but you can always fit a univalve on your spare pole. So then what I tend to do is I actually leave that, just let it do its job. Obviously, if it is traffic film remover or anything U-Big 2000 Virusol or anything like that, it's going to do its job. It's going to be possibly a little bit quicker because it's a bit more aggressive, but just be careful. If it's a nice sunny day, just pre-treat the PVC, just let it cool down, just let it do its job. The customer will probably have the kettle on now, she can have a quick cup of tea, let that do its job, and then we'll get set up for the pole that I'm going to use and talk about the brush and the connectors for that. So this is the pole I'm going to use. If you've seen my latest video, this is my carbon fibre pole that I use every day, and I think it was last week or the week before I actually regenerated or revived the actual clamps on this pole. So, and it's been absolutely, it's gone into its third week now. When I put that little tape on to stop the spinning, it's still not spinning. The tape's still holding out, so if the tape does all chew up and that, there's no reason why you can't just put another slither of tape on. But it's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I have an old brush here. What you'll find on this brush is a very old brush that has been discontinued, but I actually prefer, when I'm cleaning PVC cleaning, good old 50% fan jets, which push in from the back where the brush bristles slid into. And I just found that you get a bit more oomph when you switch everything on, and you just get a bit of a better rinse than the pencil jet, because the pencil jet's a bit more accurate, you have to follow it. With this one you can just play about with it. So with fan jets as well, I've learned over the years that I like my fan jets to be set vertical, like so, because years ago when you used to get brushes, they used to be set horizontal. So I mastered when the fan jets originally came out to set them vertical, so when you're cleaning windows, the rinse depth of the fan jets, you don't have to chase it so much because of the depth of the actual fan jet. You can just rinse your glass off and away you go. And then obviously the univalve came out, and then you can turn it on and off as quick as you can. So that'll be doing its job. That's my brush, that's my pole. So then I'm actually going to use the tap, the customer's tap, to clean the fascia this time. Just save the RO water, DI water that you got in your van system. If the customer allows you to use the tap, there's no reason why you can't. If not, you've got to use the van system. So I'm just going to show you how I connected the polos to the customer's tap. Just so I keep all the same connectors, I have the quick release connectors like so on the Series 21. They just connect in, most common connector on the market. And what you will find, the backpacks have all the same type of connector as well. So this is just a little adapter that I've connected into there, little bit of polos. Now it's a hose-like type fitting. So this connects to another little an adapter. So it connects into that, and then this end can connect to the customer's tap. So that's what I'm going to do, connect this to the tap. So I've turned the tap on fully. Obviously it's not coming out because I've got the univalve fitted in this one. So what I've done, what you generally find with customers' taps, sometimes the tap pressure is not the best as well. So you've got to really test that as well. If you can get away with it, you can. So I just thought I'd let you be aware of that. So now I'm going to actually clean the fascias. I think the chemical has done its job, and then we go away cleaning them. So what you'll find there is that the tap pressure I thought was fantastic, to tell the truth. And I think the Glideiator done what I needed to do, because I knew that wasn't as mucky that I have seen some. So if they are really mucky, you probably need some stronger chemical for that. Okay, so what I would do now is you'll know when you start doing them what parts you'd need to get some stubborn marks off and stuff. So I'm just going to let that drip dry a bit, and then I'm going to get the 6-inch handy sleeve to dry them off, and then we'll go from there. If there's any stubborn marks on, I can get the walnut pad, wrap it around the 6-inch handy sleeve, and then agitate it with a walnut pad. So now I've seen some areas where there's got a bit of stubborn marks on, so I'm just going to use a walnut pad with the 6-inch handy sleeve. So stick it on, just push it on like so. And I'm going to use the same pole as my applicator pole. I just unclip it from the backpack. I just unclip it from the push fit connector. Just going to thread it off. Just put that down, and then I'm going to use the 6-inch handy sleeve on the angle adapter. Push it on, locks into place. Obviously you'll have a bit of pipe there. You could take that out if you really wanted to, but I always just leave it in. And then with the 6-inch handy sleeve, what I tend to find is I just leave it nice and straight, because you can maneuver any position that you want for that. So I've just seen a couple of little marks, stubborn marks that I think there is. One there. There's one just on this bracket here. There's one under the bracket as well. But the main one is this joint here. This joint here. But what you generally find is when I actually sell myself to the customer to say, you know, this is going to be really good, but there will be some stubborn marks on that I might not be able to get off because it hasn't been done for a long time. So let's see if this comes off. It's got some of it off, it's reduced it. So that's what I would use the walnut pad off to get some stubborn marks. It's mainly on the front of the gutter as it comes around where the tile goes into it. That's what I tend to find. There's a lot of like staining marks there. But on the US bends and the down and the L brackets coming down, 9 times out of 10 you will get the marks off, but some of them are really tight to get off and stuff. So my next tip I'm going to be doing is taking the walnut pad off, and I'm actually going to dry the gutters off now with a couple of microfiber cloths. What we have here is a slightly different microfiber cloth to me, because I think it's like a wash leather. When you feel it, it feels a bit slimy when it's wet, but it's not. But it holds a hell of a lot of water, and it's exactly the same as attaching it to the 6-inch handy sleeve, because it just sticks to it like so, and it doesn't fall off. I mean, years ago you can put the cloth, the microfiber cloth, around the brush, but what I tend to find is when that happens there is you put it around the brush, or it can dig in and it can fall off, and it just done me head in. So this little tool's the best I find anyway. So I'm just going to go and do the gutters first, and I'll do the fascia and the soffit. You just put this down, guys. What you generally find is when you're drying the gutters, the microfiber will get wet, so you will have to rinse it out as well. And then you can assess where these drips are. 9 times out of 10, what I find is when the fascia board comes around like that and goes underneath the soffit, it holds a lot of water there. So what I tend to find is I like actually getting the microfibre on it, and where the soffit meets that L shape, I get right behind there, because 9 times out of 10 the customer opens the blinds on the morning and there's a lip all the way along, and I try and clean the best that bit there, what the customer can see when they look out. So I'm just going to go on the soffit now, sorry, yeah, the soffit underneath, and dry it underneath. But what I will do with the anti-sleeve, it'll catch the back end of that L shape. There's the L shape there, I'm pushing, pulling, and that noise, and that's what I'm cleaning there as well. There's a lot of tension there, and I'm drying all them drips off as well as I'm doing it. There's some of them just dropping on my head. What you will find, it pushes a lot of water out as well. So you just get at the edge of it and just flick it off. So there we have it. There's my uptake on drying the gutters off. Just one more tip, if you feel as if you need it. Sometimes when the gutter comes around and hits the soffit, there's a chamfer at the back edge of where the gutter meets the soffit. I can see it here. What you could do with the 6-inch anti-sleeve, you could flatten it on one end, then that will, you can turn that. I'm actually going to try it now, because this end here is actually, I flattened it, took the cap off and flattened it. So I'm just going to see if I can get right behind there by just drying it off with this end here, because it's tapered. I actually flattened it. I took the black cap out, and I got a pair of pliers and just squashed that end about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So that there, I'll just get beyond that gutter where I can just see it here to run it across, and hopefully it'll dry it off and clean it at the same time as well. So it's gone right up to the gutter. It is a bit tricky, don't get me wrong, but what a difference that made. What a difference. It's actually got right in it. So you could do that with your 6-inch anti-sleeve, but there's that chamfered edge there, look, it's actually caught it. So it goes to show that that does help. But if it's a lot more shallow, what you could do, believe it or not, is the product of the last couple of months is the Techno pad, because the Techno pad's really thin. You could put a microfibre on there, and you could spin the Techno pad on it, and then just run the Techno pad along the edge of that. So that's my uptake of PVC cleaning, and it doesn't look too bad actually, to tell the truth. You know, so yeah, if you feel as if that's any help to all of yous, or if you need me to do any other videos, please feel free to message me in the comments, and I'll get back to you. Thanks a lot. Dan Ransborough from DA Components.